welcome to the ILSC Junior Camp Summer Programs 2024. Really happy to welcome you all, and we are very, very excited for this summer. So what I'd like to do is start with introducing you to our junior camp team, who are here on this call today. So I'd like to start with introducing you to our junior camp UBC team. We have Steve N. as academics manager, Brandon Quall as center director. Brandon, you can wave if just to say hi. Thank you. And we have Anne Liu. I'm not sure if she's on this call with us today, but Brandon's here. Okay, perfect. Brandon's saying no, and I will take that as no. So that's our UBC management team. Then we have our ILSC Vancouver Junior and Family Camp management team with Judith Castro as program manager and Ruta Kemzerite as activity coordinator. If you guys are on the call, can you just wave to the camera? Okay, we'll move right on. Then we have ILSC Montreal and McGill junior camps with Justin Petrocino, our juniors program manager, and Paula Santiago, the activity coordinator. If you guys are here, please wave. Thank you. And for our ILSC Toronto Junior Camp, we have Manuela De Castro as our junior program manager and Jocelyn Flaming as our activity coordinator. If you guys can wave if you're on the call, great. Thank you. So one thing I didn't do was introduce myself. So I am Melanie Alter. I'm the director of the junior camps in Canada, and really excited to welcome you and your students to our ILSC junior camp family this summer. So before we go into all the program details themselves, I want to just walk through what students and agents should have received at this point. So last week, you should have received a welcome email that gave you a little introduction to Student Connect, gave you a little bit of information on our online English assessment and the pre-arrival orientations. So that was the email you should have gotten. It was just explaining the pre-arrival orientations, introducing you to Student Connect, and giving you a little bit of an understanding of what the online assessment is for and when you can expect it. If you did not receive that email, not a big deal. We're going over everything that was in that email today. So I will give you that information, and you will have a chance to ask any questions if you have them after. So that was the welcome email. Then our students, the English students, should have received their English online assessment test. Now that was sent as a link to the student's email directly from our team at ILSC, and there should have been an email with a link. The email itself would look something like this. It basically explains the English placement test, how much time it takes, what you need to do, and the link right here to start the test. So students should have all received that. If you did not receive that, that's link to the test, then please let us know, and we will make sure that we have the accurate email send it to. However, one extra precaution we have done this year is set up every ILSC junior camp student with their own ILSC email address for that reason, to make sure that any correspondence that may have bounced or not made it through to the student, that we have a backup, that this email we know is functional, it works, and students can get access to the assessment test. So with that said, you don't, or at this point, you may not know what your email address is. You will have received an email that looks like this, a digital access email that gives you your username and password. Those are both temporary. It gives you the instructions on how you set up your ILSC email. And once your ILSC email is set up, you should see your online assessment test in your inbox. So just, so you have lots of ways that you can access that online test. So just to reassure you, that test is not an academic test. You don't have to worry about acing it or doing really well, or if you did poorly. It's really about just making sure that we put you in the right class when you arrive here, so that it's at the level you should be at, that it challenges you, that it's not too easy for you, and that you're going to have an amazing language experience. So I just want to make sure that no one worries about this test. It's just for class placement only. So that is the digital access. So far, students should have gotten the welcome email through their agent, the online English placement test invitation to directly to their email or their ILSC email, and then the digital access. So those three things. Okay, moving right along. So now I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of student notes. Sorry, can you hear the dog in the background? Perfect. Okay, then we are good. I apologize. Okay, so this is brand new for juniors this year. It's our own kind of web page. The idea being that we wanted to make sure that students, families, agents had access to all junior camp information, and they weren't reliant on asking questions to our team, going through trying to find things on the website. This is all dedicated to our junior camp programs, and really with the objective of answering any and all questions you have. So in the welcome email, you would have gotten a link to our webpage, and it looks something like this. And you would see the junior camp programs right up there. And then the great thing about this is that you can translate all information on our Student Connect page to your preferred language. So if English is a little bit of a challenge, just scroll, you can just go to this menu and pick the language, and all information will get translated. And so that's a really great feature. Then we have the home page. So here, right under here is junior camp program information with a list of all our junior camp summer programs this summer. All you have to do is click on one of the links, the junior camp program that you're registered in, and it will bring you to the page with all the information about your specific junior camp program. Then there's the Junior Digital Access Setup page, which walks you through all the steps to set up your ILSC email. So just what that digital access email that I showed you earlier, this one, this information is what you're going to use to set up your email by following the steps on that digital access page. So we'll go back here. So that's digital access. Then pre-arrival orientation, you're here, so you know about the pre-arrival orientation, but there's plenty of other orientations that we are having. We are doing them in 7 languages this year so that we can make sure that we engage everyone, all students, all parents, all agents, and everybody can answer questions and get all the information they need. And then we have the Welcome to Canada and a link to our frequently asked questions. So that's just kind of the overview of our homepage. So I'm just going to walk you through the rest of Student Connect. So we're using the Junior Camp at ILSC Toronto homepage as an example. So here is the digital setup guide. Then there's a little information on the ILSC online English assessment, and then some information on the pre-arrival orientations. And then if you'd scroll down, you would see life at the homestay. So here there's a series of images. You could see the homestay, meals and cleaning, and then you'll see there's these little plus signs in each picture. If you click on one of those plus signs, it will pop up and give you some information on that particular topic. And again, if you use the translation, all this information will be translated in your preferred language. So that's information about homestay. And then if we continue, we go to life on campus. So that's on the page. We're scrolling down, and same thing. You click on these little plus signs. It will give you all the information for each topic. So here, mobile phones and valuables. So just little bits of information on each thing, really easy to navigate and really easy to understand, especially if you use the translation. So then we have Life in Toronto. So each junior camp program has this kind of section on the specific city they're in. So it talks about the city, public transportation. There's different information. No longer is it a plus sign, but it's little icons here that you can click on about using cell phones, SIM cards. We have average temperatures so that students and families know what to expect for the upcoming summer months. And then we have this section at the bottom with useful resources. So there's a downloadable packing list. There is the frequently asked questions. There's a welcome guide for each junior camp that you can download, but all the information is available on the site as well. So that's just if you wanted to print something as a hard copy, but everything is on the page. And then we go to the digital access. So as I mentioned, the ILSC student email, you will set it up following these instructions and using the information in the digital access email that students will have received. So you follow each kind of step, it walks you through it, and then when you finish the 3 steps, you click on this and it will bring you to the next series of steps. So, and there you are, you've done you finished all the steps, and then you would click on your icon for Outlook, and it will take you to your email inbox. So then, that was just from before. Okay. No, this is what I wanted to show you, the tech support. So if you have a problem setting up your email, anything related to the site, all you have to do is click on this little button, tech support, and then you will be taken to a form that you can fill out, explain the issue, and someone from our team will get back to you and make sure that we get your email working, your whatever issue you're having, we will make sure to resolve it with you. And then finally, we have just some info on the Junior Camp email account. So the ILSC email account will have the welcome email. It will have a little explanation on the online English test and the invitation link. The orientation session information you don't really need because we're already in them, but also we will use it for important updates, newsletters, and photos. So one of the things that we want to be able to do for families is give them specific curated information about their students' experience at the junior camp. So blurbs on the specific sites we visited, the pictures of their children in their groups, having fun, that we will send to parents on a weekly basis. But we will also have those pictures on our juniors Instagram page. So if newsletters aren't the way to go, you will always be able to see pictures on our junior camp Instagram feed. And we also use it for feedback surveys. So our students get a feedback survey during their first week of the program and their final week. We always want to make sure that we are constantly improving. And if we know that there is an issue in the first week, we want to make sure that we've resolved it by the end and turned it around. So that's why we do have those feedback surveys, and those are also sent to the ILSC email. Okay, that is it for Student Connect. I think I gave you a really, really lengthy and maybe overly descriptive view of Student Connect, but I wanted to make sure that it was really clear and easy to navigate for everyone. So then we have custodianship services. So our junior camps, all our programs include custodianship services. And that means that while students are with us, we will appoint a custodian who is essentially a responsible adult who will be their advocate and support person while they're in Canada. So what we've done, just as a rule, is any student in Vancouver who is not traveling with an adult. So normally our process for groups is that the chaperone or group leader who is accompanying a group can be that chaperone, or sorry, custodian. But for individual students, we have the ILSC campus directors appointed as custodians, and they will be the advocate for that student in the event of an emergency, a medical emergency where we can't get in touch with parents. We have someone who is taking responsibility for that student. So it's really important. And those services require notarization, and the forms are available when you register. So that's just a little information on custodianship, and what their responsibilities include are basically, providing consent for activities that would require a signature that we can't get from a parent. Emergency situations, responding immediately, helping with medical services. If there's a dispute, helping mediate the dispute and advocating for the student, and being kind of the intermediary between the student and the parents for any issues that may arise. So then we have unaccompanied minors. So most airlines provide an unaccompanied minor program that assists children who are traveling alone from their point of departure to their destination. And it's a mandatory program for children between 8 and 11 years old and optional for children age 12 to 17. So what happens if a student is traveling as part of an unaccompanied minor program with an airline, then we provide unaccompanied minor services to this student, which involves meeting the student at the airline desk and escorting the student from the airline personnel to their residence or homestay accommodation. So both the airline and ILSC charge an additional fee for this program, but it really means that parents have some peace of mind knowing that if their student is younger or nervous traveling by themselves, that they will be very well taken care of throughout their journey. So that is unaccompanied minors. So back to the online English placement test. So students will have received the link. As I mentioned before, it is just a level placement test, and it will assess their English reading, writing, grammar, and speaking skills, and takes between 60 to 75 minutes to complete. And as mentioned, these results are just for classroom placement to make sure that we choose an appropriate class and level for our students. It's also a requirement for students who are interested in our Skills Plus option, because there is a level requirement for those classes. So if a student is interested in the Skills Plus option and they are at an intermediate level for our UBC and Toronto programs, then there's still time to register and be a part of that Skills Plus class. And for our Montreal Skills Plus class, the level requirement is an intermediate kind of beginner, so B4, B3, B4. So that is the placement test. Medical insurance health coverage. So at ILSC, we recommend the medical insurance GuardMe for our students. We use this medical insurance if in the event students have a minor illness like a sore throat or cough, cold, flu, skin irritations, rashes, those kind of things. They have clinics that they are affiliated with that provide direct billing, or a clinic that will reimburse students and families once the claim is submitted. So there's two ways of doing it. In the event that a student has a more serious medical emergency, then we will take the student to the closest hospital, and payment must be made at the hospital. But at the hospital, students will get the paperwork to submit the claim, and GuardMe will reimburse the student and families for all the expenses. So now, checklist of things to bring. So what's important? Information like the welcome guide, the letter of acceptance. Those are things they can bring, not 100% necessary. What they really need is their passport, travel documents, their health insurance, any medications they need, and Canadian dollars or credit cards. I should say not and or credit cards. You can do both. Then we have standard clothing. So all of our junior camp programs are in cities where we are really experiencing summer. So it can be hot, it can be cool. Our recommendation for any of our junior camp programs is to pack so that you can layer, because it could be cool some days, super hot other days, and we want to make sure that our students are equipped for all temperatures. So t-shirts, sweatshirts, pants, shorts, all of the typical summer attire, bathing suit, sandals, sneakers. And again, this list of, sorry, just letting someone in. This list is downloadable on our Student Connect page. So you don't have to take notes. This is just kind of walking you through everything. So of course, toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, hair dryer, if needed, feminine hygiene products, and then a beach towel, refillable water bottles, and any non-prescription medications that they might need while they're here. School supplies, really minimal, a backpack, and some pens and paper. And personal electronics. So camera, if students actually are professional photographers, definitely bring a camera, but most of our students just use their phones, as we all do as well. And headphones are great. And we do really recommend that students bring their mobile phone. Even though it's a summer camp, even though it's a summer break, we use our mobile phones to communicate with our students. And I'll go into that a little bit later, but our mobile phones are really a tool and a good part of our program. So now we've gotten to the airport. So when students arrive at the airport, there will be a junior camp staff waiting for them with a sign. That picture is really not a junior camp staff. We're way friendlier. I'm wearing a t-shirt, but I didn't have a good picture. So the sign is accurate. The person in it is not, but they will be waiting for each and every student, and they will connect students to the driver assigned to pick them up in our homestay programs. And if they're in residence, they will be accompanying the students directly back to residence. Unless an unaccompanied minor, they will be accompanying them directly to the homestay. Public transportation. So at most of our junior camps, with the exception of UBC, students travel using public transportation. They use it to go to and from their accommodations, and we use it to go back and forth to our activities. So what we do is we provide our students with a public transit card on their first day, and give them kind of instructions on how to load them and what fares they would need to load for their stay with us. The reason that we do this is because depending on when a student arrives in our program, sometimes a monthly pass won't make sense due to the timing of the renewal of the monthly pass. So sometimes it's better to do 2 weeks of individual tickets. Sometimes it's better to do the monthly pass. So really we leave that to see when students come, and then we work with them to help them load accordingly. So once, and then before they go home, they return their transit card to our junior camp staff member. So as I mentioned, we use mobile phones, our students' mobile phones, to communicate with them. And we also use them at activities to track them. So students will turn on their location services while we're at activities. And if they're ever given some free time to kind of walk around, which is really closely supervised, it's free time, and they're able to walk around, but the staff are all kind of around as well. But in the event that a student gets lost, we know exactly where they are because we're tracking them. So we use the app, WhatsApp, which is really great for international students because it works with any and every cell phone number. So that's why it's our go-to application for our students. And what we would recommend, if possible, is that students download the WhatsApp app to their phone if they don't already have it prior to coming. So it's available for Apple phones or Android. And yeah, it's really helpful. In the event that they don't know how to do it, we will help them, but it's great if they have that all set up. SIM cards. So although this is not required, we do recommend an international SIM card if you want if you want the student or your child to be communicating a lot and not be worried about roaming and international calling expenses, then a SIM card is a great option. They get a local phone number and a data plan. And so our staff will help students purchase a SIM card when they get here, if that's what they're interested in doing. So just an example of SIM card plans, it could be for just 2 gigabytes, $9 a week, and for 7 gigabytes, $35 for a month. So all depends on usage, but it just gives you an idea of the cost. Then we have, okay, money, currency. So what do students typically need when they come in terms of money or credit cards? So for our McGill and UBC students, the residence requires $100 Canadian cash security deposit to cover key replacement or damages in the residence. So we collect that on the student's first day and keep it in an envelope, and we return it if there was no key loss or damages, then we return the cash to the student when they leave. So that's $100 cash. Then students will need money for public transportation. This could be between $40 to $50 per week. And as I mentioned before, not for UBC. In residence, they will need money for laundry. So that typically is about $2 per wash, $2 per dry. And so it's about $4 per week. We usually recommend that students do their laundry once a week. And if they're interested in purchasing a SIM card, that would be between $9 and $35, even $55 if they want to do a monthly plan, and then spending money for snacks and souvenirs. So one thing that we encountered last summer, and this is a little bit different for this summer, I wanted to make families, agents, parents aware of an option for them in the event that you're concerned that you don't want to give your child too much money, yet you're concerned that if they do need more, the idea of giving them a wire transfer is not ideal. So there is an account, a type of banking account that you can open through wise.com, which allows students to, it provides them with a debit card that they can use at Canadian ATMs and withdraw in Canadian currency, so that there is no need for wire transfer. So it's something that parents and students might want to explore before coming. Then we have the schedules. So a typical homestay schedule in our junior camp. Sundays, it's typically the arrivals day. So students arrive throughout the day. And they go spend time with their host family. So if students have already been with us, then Sundays are typically a day of free time. They can make plans to see friends they've met in the program. They can just relax on their own, or they can spend time with their host family. It's really to do what they feel like doing. It's their free day. And then Monday to Friday, we have activities in the morning from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Lunches from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Students bring their lunch, a packed lunch from their homestay, although they do have the ability, if they want to purchase lunch, students can go and purchase lunch, either supervised if they are under 14, or with a friend, and they sign out for students 15 and over. Then they have class from 2:30 to 5:15, and then after class, they go home and spend the evening with their homestay family and have dinner with them. And Saturdays are a full day activity. They come and meet at the campus at 9 o'clock in the morning and are gone for the full day. So it could be anywhere till about 4 p.m. And sometimes if it's an activity that's a little further away, it could be until about 6 o'clock. So that is a typical homestay schedule. Then we have the McGill schedule, which we have the activities in the morning and lunch. They have a meal plan for lunch. They have classes in the afternoon with the other ILSC Montreal students, dinner, part of the meal plan. And then the difference is they go back to the residence. They have an evening activity from 7 to 10 every evening. And then they have their quiet time from 10 to 11. They can hang out, and then 11 p.m. lights out. Then junior camp at UBC, similar schedule to McGill. However, at UBC, classes are all in the mornings and activities are in the afternoons. So they have 3 on-site activities at UBC, which are typically sports, art, different outdoor activities, or sometimes indoor. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have off-site excursions, and then full day Saturday and part of Sunday, they are also on off-site excursions. And then they have dinner at the residence, lunch, breakfast at the residence, and an evening activity in the evenings. And again, 11 p.m., lights out. Okay. And then we have the Vancouver Family Camp weekly schedule. So we're really excited to offer our Vancouver family camp this summer. We had been on hiatus for a little bit, so we're excited to bring it back. The family camp schedule is a little different. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, families and children have free time to do different things that they might want to do around the city. Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have a family organized activity. And so it's a group of other families. You meet other parents and students at these family organized activities. And then Saturday, they have a full day activity. Lunch is from 12:30 to 1:15, and after lunch, adults go to their general English classes, and the children have a workshop from 1:15 to 2:30, which could be anything from board games to art activities to photography, all different kinds of activities for the hour before they start class. And then in the evenings, they are at their homestay or their own accommodations. Okay, student safety. So as I mentioned, all our students are always supervised by ILSC staff during their activities. And if they're in our homestay program, they are with their host family. If they're in residence, they're supervised by our staff at the residence. So they're rarely alone, but students may travel between their homestay and the ILSC campus on their own. And so what we recommend is that, our cities are really safe, but that students are aware of their surroundings, especially after dark, and that when they can, they travel with a friend. But really, the cities are very safe. So personal belongings, safety tips. We really recommend that students don't carry around large amounts of cash or their passport that they leave those at home, or they can always give it to, if they're in residence, to the residence team. We have a safe and we keep things for our students. And just little tips that, I'm sure apply to them using transportation at home, to make sure that they take off their backpack when they're on using public transportation, and to keep their phone and their belongings in their bags and not in their hands as they travel. And then last but not least, our emergency contact information. So each junior camp program has an emergency phone number that is activated a week before junior camp starts, but it is really for emergencies. So it is in the event that, something really important that you need to get in touch with someone in our program right away, or a parent needs to get in touch with their child right away. That is the number that they will use, and it is operational 24 hours a day. So that is it for our junior camp pre-arrival this summer. Now I would like to open it up to any questions or anything that you would like to revisit. Anyone? Okay. Well, then I want to thank you all so much for attending. We are so excited to have your students and your children join us this summer. We can't wait for them to get here. When we do these orientations, it starts becoming real. We've done all this planning. We're getting ready and But when we see actual faces, we know it's actually happening. So we can't wait for you to get here. And please, if there's anything you are missing, any questions you have, please don't hesitate to reach out to the ILSC team or your agent, and we will make sure to answer any questions you have. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, depending on your time zone. And welcome to Junior Camps 2024.